Hello, I'm Charlene Johnson. I was born in Lindsay, California in 1932. My maiden name was Charlene Letzinger. Lindsay was a major producer of olives, and it became the olive packing center of the world. I'm sure everyone has heard of Lindsay Olives of Whatcom. In 1937, we moved to Phoenix, Arizona. We were there until 1941, when we returned back to Oakland, California. Oakland, California during World War II. We moved to Alameda, California, where my mother worked at the Alameda Naval Air Station, where she met and became friends with a family from Hawaii. We attended a Hawaiian luau, where I learned that their father rescued some sailors from sunken ships at Pearl Harbor. On his last dive, he never returned. In 1945, when I was 13, we were pulled out of school one day where the principal informed us that President Roosevelt had passed away. When the war ended, one day my brother and I were sitting out on the steps, and we looked up. We could hear airplanes, and the sky was just full. All day long, airplanes, bombers, fighters filled the skies, coming back from the Pacific. In 1946, my mother remarried. She married an Army Air Force officer who was from Bristol, Connecticut. I came here in 8th grade, went to Patterson School, graduated, and from there I went to Bristol High School. My first impression of Bristol was very disappointing. My first view of downtown Bristol was coming from the bus station down under the railroad bridge on Main Street. And everything was so old compared to the towns that I had lived in on the West Coast. As a teenager in Bristol, there were a lot of things to do. They had the Friday night dances at the Bristol Boys Club. The high school had 3 to 4 formal dances a year. And there were 3 movie theaters then, the Cameo, the Bristol Theater, and the Carberry Theater, which are all gone now. We had football and baseball games at Muzzy Field and basketball games at the Bristol Armory on Center Street. When I was a teenager, we had great musicians and singers, such as Glenn Miller and Doris Day.
It's magic.
Drugs were almost unheard of. There was some drinking, mostly by the boys, and there was some smoking also. Most of the kids either walked or took the bus to school. Very few, I can only remember 2 that had a car while we were in high school. When I was a junior in high school, I met Dick Johnson, who later became my husband in 1952. We had 4 children and 7 grandchildren.